All right, everybody, welcome back for another Champions League edition of the Top Corner Football Podcast. Match week 5. Very interesting results. The group stage really seems to be rounded out. We've got a couple of question marks, but ultimately it seems pretty in the bag.
Yeah.
Joining me today, I'm your co-host Julian. Across from me is Jordan. How are you doing today, Jordan?
I'm pretty good. We had a lot of great games, and there was a lot of fiasco. You know what? I don't like to talk about my boy, but I feel like we have to talk about him because his performance wasn't that great. I'm talking about Galatasaray, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Oh la la, that was a fiasco. Because
Yep.
I felt like they could have won if and only if Onana could have tightened the goal. You know?
Because two of those goal concessions were absolute howlers from him. I will say, though, that third goal was pretty airtight. Very, very hard angle to hit it from. A lot of power behind it. Not too much that you could do about it. But he's got some floppy wrists as of late, it seems.
Well, it's weird. I wonder if he shouldn't have gone to Chester United at the way they are. Because
I agree with that, too.
Because looking at how the team is and how dysfunctional they are, coming from such a great season, it just puts in questions whatever he's done, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I wish he could have. I mean, probably the money, but he shouldn't have gone there.
Is there any other club other than Inter Milan that you think that would have been smart for him to go to? Like where else?
Any other club except for Chelsea and United.
Yeah.
Because the defense. Although I give him 50% of the blame, but there's one thing that I've grown since I've been following soccer, even at football and playing and all of that, is when the defense is dysfunctional, it's so difficult for a great goalkeeper to be great.
Yeah.
You know?
And even for an average goalkeeper to be average.
Yeah.
Just everything around. I'm not even saying that he's average. He's shown.
Yeah, because we can see this pattern.
But
like you can pinpoint, you can be like, hey, Inter Milan. I heard a lot of people saying, well, he had the best defense in Inter Milan. It's like, no, one of them was like 33. He didn't.
Yeah.
And even at Ajax, we can say it was a good defense, but they were all young. So there's a pattern and proof that he can do it.
Yeah.
But when the team is so dysfunctional, it's like Rashford, right? Rashford is flying under the radar, but he's actually mediocre at best this season. He's not scoring a lot.
No, he's not.
You know, so it's just one of those things that when the team overall is like dysfunctional, it's so difficult. I saw Bernardo Silva. Silva be like, every time he was like, man, what are you doing? And I remember when they were trying to kick off another play and they were rushing, and Silva was like, man, why are we rushing? We don't need to rush. It's because there's so much. The team is just crazy.
I think that it's pretty apparent how much he misses mobile fullbacks or center backs like Bastoni.
Yeah.
And even though Skriniar is not the most athletic, Skriniar, Bastoni, and Onana obviously had something working together.
Yeah.
Because now that Skriniar is at PSG, he's not performing as well. Despite having a better goalkeeper in Donnarumma, you would admit that Donnarumma is better than Onana, right?
Yes,
I would say so.
Yeah, at this point,
he had a shaky game against Newcastle this past week,
but Donnarumma too. It's weird because I feel like Paris Saint-Germain shouldn't have let Navas to leave because I saw his game too. Oh man, did do it? He has butterfingers sometimes.
Yeah, that was a very surprising performance from Donnarumma.
Yeah,
he is not quite as likely to make those mistakes, but yes, it was a very off day for him as well. Bruno Fernandes does prove that he is one of the brightest spots of that team still, because we had talked I think maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
if you were to rebuild the starting 11 for Manchester United, who actually stays? And it's funny, I think that you said only Fernandes and Garnacho.
Yeah,
and I said Fernandes, Garnacho, and Dalot. Because I do think that
I can see how Dalot could be.
And those are the three players that consistently have performed well this season.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems pretty. McTominay has flashes of playing well and actively playing bad. Whereas everyone else is like, Bruno Fernandes doesn't have very many awful games. He's either very bright or he disappears. And Garnacho doesn't seem to have had too many opportunities until lately, and he's made the most of them, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know if you know AFCON, the Africa Cup of Nations. Oh, you play FIFA.
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Okay, because it usually goes on this, I think December, January.
Yeah.
No, actually January. And for most African players, that's kind of like the international. Well, that's our international competition.
It's their Euros.
Yeah. So Onana is thinking not going. Boil rumors. Just because he is scared to lose his place.
Yeah.
At Chester United.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know if that's a smart move. It might be, because I understand that at the end of the day, the country is just like is just a small part of whatever of your season.
Yeah.
But you still have to make money. You still have to be players. Still have to be consistent, and that goes through a whole season, a whole year. So I don't know, man. I wish he wouldn't have done that. But the way things are going, I understand why he will do that.
He seemed, I thought, like as of lately, I thought that he was pretty dead set on going. But and the question is, do you just go ahead and drop him now? Because hold on, because if he goes to AFCON, when he's gone, he's gonna miss 4 Premier League games and 2 FA Cup games.
Yeah.
So do you just go ahead after this performance and not take it personally and say, we're expecting you to be gone for 6 of our matches overall. Let's go ahead and get the backup keeper in early. Just go ahead and throw him in the deep end. Go ahead and get this over with, pull the Band-Aid off, and we'll see you in late January. I think that would be the smart decision overall.
Well,
just give him a break.
Yeah.
And let him find his form again, not for your club.
That would be cool if there's a guarantee, because at the end of the day, it's like the Ramsdale situation, right?
Yeah.
You never know, the next goalkeeper might be actually that good, and you come back as the main guy, as the guy that hired to do the job, and you're bench, and at his stage, he probably don't need to be benched, because if you're benched, then your value goes down, your market value goes down, you probably won't have, or you will have difficulties trying to find another club.
Yeah, you want him gone, but the more that you bench him, the more of his value drops. So it's like, we need to at least get something from him.
Yeah,
even if we don't want him there.
So it's gonna be pretty tough, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Onana knows what's best for him, but I will go to the AFCON. Because because you could perform very well there, find your form, and still get back and still be the numero uno. But I get where he's coming from, so I wouldn't be mad at him. The game was outrageous. I thought Manchester United had it for a while.
Yeah, it was an exciting game overall.
Yeah, it was exciting, but then again, ZH just told them, welcome to the ZH show. I mean, what the hell? How do you? That's Onana. Yeah, actually,
ZH has always had a good free kick as well. So
it was but the second one, I think the second one Onana could have caught it,
where it slid through the line.
Like there was no intention to actually hit it.
Well, because he had already committed to moving left.
Yes.
And the ball goes straight through two guys in the wall's shoulders, and he just
you don't want to overcommit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But Ziyech actually had a great game, and he's 30 years old. I wish he was younger than that, because after this game, I could see him going to big clubs, just getting somewhere else. But
and he just didn't do well at Chelsea either.
Yeah. But you know what is crazy? I heard early in both their careers, Ziyech used to play with Onana. I don't know what club though. It might be Ajax. I don't know what club they used to be together. And he used to take free kicks. It means Onana at least should have known some about this guy.
Which shows that either Onana is just in really bad form, or Ziyech has always just dominated him on free kicks. He's saved 3 overall in training period. Like, that's very funny to me.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. Well, what did you think about the elephant in the room with Paris Saint-Germain Newcastle? Newcastle had a great game, Paris actually had, if you were just to take game to game, box to box, or pound for pound, how I would say it, I don't know. But I think Paris itself had a better game because they had a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't finish. Dembele couldn't finish anything to save his life.
They had 31 shots with 7 on goal on target.
See, Mbappe couldn't finish one of those two. Mm-mm. It was crazy.
It was a game that couldn't shoot straight.
Yeah, but they were pounding the defense back to back. So I actually applaud Newcastle defense for that. Yeah. And Nick Pope is a savage.
He's great. Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. Like, should he start over Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale for England? I think so.
He does. He should, because
he should.
If you track back all his games, he's been excellent. He's been killing it. I don't know why he's not number one at the
Southgate
international level. Man, Southgate, I don't understand his deal. His way of selecting players is always skeptical.
Yep. and so back to PSG. This thing, it's always so frustrating to me. They think that they are European royalty when they're not. And they have a history of, if they don't roll, if a team does not roll over for them in the first 25 minutes, PSG shut down. They don't know how to act. They're used to playing lower table teams in the French league where they can sink in 3-0 at halftime. But if you put up an actual fight against them for the most of the first half, they don't know how to respond, hardly ever.
But at the second half, overall, I thought PSG did a pretty good job at just coming back to back. They just couldn't.
They did
finish,
okay,
right?
but yeah, like they have this thing where if they don't hit the ground running immediately, they just kind of give up for a minute, and they spend a lot of valuable time just putting the ball around.
People should actually consider Newcastle as a powerhouse in terms of being underdog, because I see them doing a lot of damage. And looking at their group is a pretty scary one. But the big thing, or the big controversy, and even before that, I was sitting down when I follow people online and all of that. I was like, wow. Now we know who is the best of the Qataris. Like, there's levels to this money.
Yeah. So it's money and the mindset at the same time. Yeah.
So Paris, what did you think about the penalty kick awarded to Paris Saint-Germain at the end?
Well, yesterday UEFA came out and said that it was the wrong call. They themselves came out and said it. So yeah, it was the wrong call. So, I thought it was ridiculous at the time. I was watching it live with my wife.
Yeah.
And Newcastle's up 1-0. Great. And I was like, you watch. They're going to get a late penalty.
Yeah.
They're going to get a late shenanigans are going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're going to steal a point from this game. That's exactly what happened. And the PSG players are just very dislikable for the most part. I don't like how they crowd the ref for decisions. They jump in his face. They wave their arms around for him. I think it's pretty despicable. Donnarumma had a very strangely off game, but it doesn't matter because PSG couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. 30 shots. 31 shots with 7 on target. And they're still just... But the way that they treat the refs is very disgusting. But I thought that Joelinton, Guimaraes, and Miley had a very good game in that Newcastle midfield.
You know what's crazy? I would say this. I don't know, if refs needs to either be on the same page across the pond or everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in individual leagues, because day in, day out, one ref might say it's not a penalty, and actually a lot of incident that happened like that wasn't blown. The penalty wasn't awarded.
Yeah.
But another thing is, should all the refs be on the same page? They should. And the question for them to answer, how do they make that a thing? Because we already know, as far as I'm concerned, the only time the penalty is awarded in the box is when the opposing player has an intention of touching the ball or obstructing, or I know if it's a natural movement, it cannot be given. You can control that movement.
Yep. If
it's a natural movement, it's just things that don't happen. I know back in the days they were like, well, or your hands have to be on your body. I know now they kind of fixed it a little bit, saying something about natural movements, or if it's like natural,
your arms are moving as you're running.
Yeah, so like it's something difficult, you know.
We all know how to run.
If you do that intentionally, that's intentional. You can't do the hand of God, per se.
Right.
But yeah,
the thing is, like, there should be just a new way of doing things. I think that all defenders at the age of 12 or 13, they should get their arms cut off. just have little nubs, nubs. Everybody can just wear tank tops because they won't have any arms. And it would be a good way to play football, because it's the only way. Like, how can you not see that was a natural movement for running? Has the ref never run before?
Yeah,
he is. I was watching him during the game while he was jogging, sauntering. Yeah, but he has run at some point in his life, so he understands the natural movement of what the body looks like. Yeah,
that's true. And another thing I would want to ask the refs,
how does it feel to be a cheating piece of shit? Oh, that's worth asking, I think.
No, I would actually
how much did PSG pay you?
VAR, is it really a necessity on the ref side? Because it's been a liability, especially this season. It's not helped
at all.
This season has been bad. It's been really bad, like you said, and it's been a liability. It was brought in to make appropriate decision, because you could watch real time, and you could rewind and see what happened in real time. But again, it doesn't seem like it's been helping, even across individual league. We've seen it in the Premier League. We've seen it with Newcastle, actually, and weird. It always happened with Newcastle.
How does having more proof and more evidence make it harder to make a decision?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, move on.
Yeah,
that was a ridiculous one. I told you that if PSG slapped the shit out of Newcastle, that they'd be in my top 10. They got away lucky.
Yeah,
they were shooting all over the place. They couldn't do anything. For me, that even more so proved, yes, the Newcastle is a good underdog in Europe. They seem like they're going to be around for a while, not winning or going too far in Europe, but that they are now, like, United and Chelsea have to take them seriously, because they are muscling them out for 2 years now.
Yeah,
from a top 4, top 6 position. But it does not make PSG look good. It makes PSG look like everything I think that they are, which is shams.
Yeah.
Big fish in a little pond, and once you take them out of that little pond, they get eaten alive. So,
look at me. My God, Bellingham, Real Madrid, Napoli.
Yep,
he did it again. He did it once again. Last week he did it again. Every weekend he does it again.
It's like it's getting to the point where
everybody say, "What's a fluke?" It's not a fluke.
Yeah,
it's just him. It's natural for him. Every time he gets on the pitch, automatically he was blessed by the gods of football himself.
Yeah. The only problem I have with it now is that when he does something like this, I'm not that excited. I'm just like, like I expect him to do these things now.
No, I'm always excited for the haters.
I know, yeah.
I'm always
and
excited.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but it's one of those where, like, if you look at the matchup and you're like, oh, he didn't have a header in the 90th minute. You're like, oh, that's okay, whatever. Like, I'm expecting to see him on the card.
Yeah,
doing
it's becoming special. More of a constant thing for him. It's becoming something. Every time you look at Real Madrid play, you look at the score sheet. It's like, where is he at?
Yeah,
he has to be there.
Wait, he didn't single-handedly win the game in the 89th minute. Wow,
but an assist and a goal.
Yeah,
very different.
And Rodrigo is finding his form.
You know what I asked myself, like, what if, because for the past 4 games, Rodrigo has had at least 10 goals contribution.
Yeah.
At least, but probably that's the exact. But and you know, I don't know if you watched that video. He was talking to Ronaldo Nazario, the big Ronaldo, and he did something like he was like touching his foot and putting on his own foot. It was signifying like, oh, take what you had or could do with your own foot and put it on my own foot. Okay. I feel like that helped. Since then, this guy has been killing it. And he did it recently, probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. Just to say that, Rodrigo, what if this becomes his form? What if he becomes consistent with this, right?
If he hits this and just maintains it.
Yeah. And you have Bellingham, you have Vinicius Junior. Do you actually go and fetch for another striker? You still, because Joselu actually missed a lot. I was so mad at him.
So I think we had this conversation last episode, actually this past week. that would make decisions a lot easier.
Yeah.
If Rodrigo maintains this form and Vinny continues to either have spurts or be kind of underdeveloped, if they do get Haaland and Mbappe, let's say that Rodrigo maintains this form, what? Yeah,
it's gonna be
cool because
that
that was what our whole issue was
Yeah.
like, if you have Vinny and Mbappe, they're both left wingers, but Haaland's in the middle, who's going to take the right?
Yeah.
And we thought Mbappe, because even though he's better on the left, his opposite foot is better than Vinny, so just give him that. But like, if Rodrigo continues his form, he's already your right winger. So then you have Mbappe, Haaland, and Rodrigo.
But what do you put Vinicius? That's the thing.
You let him go. If he doesn't,
because if you're going pound for pound,
Yeah.
then
if Rodrigo continues this form that he's had for the last week and a half or so, he is consistently performing better than Vinny Jr. because Vinny has spurts of it, and when he's on, he's fantastic, but he's been very quiet. But they have too many options. It's their roster is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like Chelsea's roster, but consistent, and like they know how to play as a team, as opposed to Chelsea, which looks like a bunch of missing Lego pieces.
And the fact about your roster is like everyone in there is capable of changing the game at any time. The only thing I blame them is still for the defense, but honestly, if your attack is in such a great form and everyone can score, because you still need the striker, because you look at Joselu, he missed a lot, and I was so happy when Bellingham that assist and he scored, and Bellingham was like, "Hey man, just it's your moment, you know." I know you missed a lot, but
and to be fair, like he wasn't brought in to be a long-term fix anyway.
Yeah.
So and he never was, he never will be. That's fine. What about, okay, let's go ahead.
I know for sure when another coach comes in, he's leaving.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's leaving.
Let's talk about Arsenal really fast. I don't honestly have too much to say other than that was an absolute smashing.
Arsenal took Lens to the butchery, and you know,
Lens
didn't know that they were the cow.
Yeah.
They just learned it that day.
That's funny.
6-0.
Another goal from Havertz.
Oh my good. What about Havertz though? Now, what are people gonna say about Havertz? Because it looks like, for me, Havertz is getting slowly in form.
Yes.
And gaining his confidence too, and he's been playing. I mean, he's been off ball movement, timing, execution, and he has this confidence that you can see showing up. And even when he takes decision, he's not indecisive. He's actually going for what he thinks he should go for. Yeah,
and it's one of those things where like, and I do like when people are like, "Oh well, 2 months ago you said that he was awful," and it's like, well, he wasn't playing well. It's like they expect you to have to either be able to see the future, or lie and say that someone's playing poorly when they're not anymore. It's like you're allowed to change your mind because their form can change.
Yeah.
If I can't have a change in opinion on what I'm seeing objectively, then you're kind of telling the player, hey, if you're playing poorly, you have to keep playing poorly. If you're playing well, it's like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Like you change your mind or you change your perception based on the circumstances around you. I think that the most important thing about this victory is that every goal came from a different player.
Yeah.
And that is what Arsenal, that's what Arteta's tried to build for 3 seasons now, and has been very effective at that, where you're not going to have one player that's going to have 23 goals.
Yeah.
It's all going to come from different people, and that's a very important thing, especially when you have certain guys that maybe they struggle to have to maintain their fitness.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus is a good example of that.
Thomas Partey is a good example of that too.
If your lead goal scorer is consistently getting hurt, the goals have to come from somewhere else. And so they're showing in this game in particular that they're very able to do that, where they're just coming from all over.
I'm just happy for Kai Havertz, but at least I said at the beginning that he is a player that needs to be subbed in and come in, not starting. But it looks like so far the way Arteta is alternating him and just rotating, it's working until he gets to the point where he has full confidence. He can play very well. He will be very much an asset for Arsenal. I like Tomiyasu's performance. It was a great performance. And one thing, I feel like Tomiyasu on that wing actually is more dangerous. On the right side is more dangerous. And you can see that he has a great combination with Saka. especially when he's overloading, or it was a little bit difficult with probably Martinelli on the other side. But one thing I used to say is he's good at backtracking. He's good at coming forward too. At attacking and defensive, he's good. But now his defensive side used to show more than attacking side, because that's why I said Zinchenko should always be there. But now that he played this wing, at least for the games that I've seen him playing this wing, he looks more dangerous.
I agree. I mean,
like defensively and even attacking.
But does he look better than Ben White in that position?
I think he does. That's my opinion.
Currently, yeah.
Currently, because we're talking about current form. We're not talking about now. Let's say overall. Well, if he can do this, and seeing what he's done, because since I've been watching him, it doesn't seem like he's not consistent. He's just not getting a lot of time. It's true.
Yeah. So when he's on, he plays well. He doesn't
it's just one of those things that when he's in, he's playing.
Yeah.
It's not like when he's in, he's not playing.
And it's not really something that you can
assist,
that you can blame Arteta for either, because I mean, you play your number one guy, and if Ben White is your number one guy, you play. It's not that you are unaware that Tomiyasu is a good player, but there's just someone else above him in the pecking order. But he's getting more time now and showing that maybe he should be more part of the regular rotation. And I agree with that.
Yeah. So what would you think? What would you say? Who is, if you had to put your top 3 actually, or we can do 5, but 3 honestly, for the Ballon d'Or next season, what players will be in your top 3 or top 5?
Wow.
Because Haaland had a great game too.
Yeah. Haaland and Mbappe have to be up there, even though it's really frustrating with Mbappe. What?
No. I'm just saying,
because he's one of those guys where even if he's scoring hat tricks against whatever, Lens, who is mid-table currently, he's up there. He's objectively, you can tell even when he's playing in a side like PSG, who is obviously the best in France, but the drop of quality from their squad and the rest of the league is very, very steep.
Yeah.
You can tell how great of a player is. You always have as well. My third, man.
Because for me,
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
He's breaking records. He's playing very well.
Yeah.
I would say Harry Kane for number 2.
Okay.
Haaland, Kane, and Mbappe.
Huh. That's crazy.
How's that crazy?
No. I'm just saying that's crazy as an exclamation.
Okay.
Because for me right now, I would say, I probably would put Haaland there. Because one thing that might kill Haaland this year is the Euro too, in the sense that there's again one more competition that he's not on.
Yeah.
That Bellingham is there. That even if he reaches the semi-final and he played very good, automatically, because that would be the Champions League. This provided he plays well in Champions League. Because right now in Champions League, if you had to say who is the runner-up, I feel like those two are tied together. So mine would be Haaland, Bellingham, Mbappe, Harry Kane. And right now, too, I feel like Bellingham and Haaland are kind of tied, because the two won't be decided on goals like it would be if it were just strikers. It will be decided on the overall impact on the game.
Yeah.
And Bellingham has more impact on the game than Haaland.
Yeah.
So he's a more complete player.
That is funny. Our top 4 are the exact same players, just in different orders. But I mean, to me, it's like those 4 players are. It'd be tough for me to see someone's top 4.
I want to put Saka at the feet, but one assist, 1 goal.
Yeah, he does have more to go though.
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel like what he needs to get there is out of reach.
No,
he's just not getting to it right now. But it seems like it's in there somewhere.
I feel like it's gonna be difficult for him because, like I can honestly say, the next 5 years, you have these 3 players: Bellingham. Bellingham, who again? Haaland and Mbappe.
Yeah.
For the next 5 years, I see them
always being in that.
Yeah. But again, even Haaland and Bellingham have to watch out, because if Mbappe goes to a team that actually, a team like Madrid or City,
Yeah.
I think it's over for them.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, he's gonna be feeding a lot, because the one thing about Mbappe, he's not selfish. That's one good quality. So he's gonna be feeding a lot of his strikers, and he's gonna be scoring.
Yeah.
That's different. So
yeah. We need to and that's the thing about him as well, is that I'm not saying that it won't happen or that it couldn't happen. What I want is to stop talking about it and to see it happen.
What happened.
Because it's been too many years that we've been saying this, and at a certain point, you don't want to go down in history as a player that everyone knew
you could
do it, but you didn't. We need to finally.
It's like Balotelli.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We need to finally see it. I'm tired of hypothesizing while he's, whether you want to believe it or not, wasting away at PSG.
Yeah.
Because they are not going anywhere in Europe. If they were going to, it was in 2020, and they had to play that monster Bayern Munich side, and that was
that 2020 Bayern was one. It was so good. I love to see that team, man. They were on steroid. I feel like COVID steroid.
Yeah.
Nobody could have stopped them. They were all jacked. But coming back, the Galatasaray and Manchester United, their group is their group tough? Yeah. I think they still don't have their faith in their hands. Probably. We want to look at their group and see.
Yeah, so if my math is correct, and it's very possible that it's not correct because math is not my strong suit. I'm an English guy. United have to beat Bayern Munich, and then Copenhagen and Galatasaray have to draw.
Yes.
For United to get that second spot.
Yeah.
So that's no longer in their hands.
That's why I said that fate is not in your hands.
If they do beat Bayern Munich, which I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening.
Hey, that can be a miracle.
It could, well, but then
because Bayern is already qualified, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But then you also have to hope for a draw, and Galatasaray will more than likely not draw against Copenhagen.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's tough for them.
Ziyech might take them again to another show.
Some more free kicks. Yeah, man. He's special.
How do you score 2 free kicks?
Well, you let Onana be the keeper and it goes through his hands. That's what happens. I'll tell you. That's what I saw. But,
oh my goodness. Well.
And then we have Dortmund hosting PSG.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's talking about how poor PSG's defense actually is right now.
No.
Their goal difference is rough. They've conceded 7 goals and scored 8.
Yeah.
And and Dortmund has scored 6 and only conceded 3, despite Mats Hummels and Schlotterbeck not being in their best form. When you watch Dortmund play, they look kind of uneasy at the back, but they've only conceded 3 goals.
Yeah.
And no one really seems to talk about how Danilo and Skriniar are together, conceding 7 goals.
Yeah,
conceding 7 goals. And
that's a lot, though.
I see Newcastle staying in 3rd. It just doesn't look like Milan can score.
Yeah.
Because what is it? What are their exact numbers again?
The next game is Paris against
Dortmund.
In Paris?
No.
In Dortmund?
In Germany.
In Germany? I feel like Paris might win.
Maybe.
Let me just call it now.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe they can flop in the box in the 89th minute.
Yeah. No, I think they will win this one clean.
Maybe.
Trust me, guys.
Trust him.
Trust my judgment.
He is trustworthy.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, look, Milan conceding 7 goals and only having 3 to their name. I don't see them getting past a Newcastle defense that, even though they have conceded more goals than you think, it's interesting. Dortmund have conceded less than it seems like they have, and Newcastle have conceded more than it seems that they have.
For Newcastle to go ahead, they have to beat AC Milan and hope Dortmund beats Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, brother. Paris Saint-Germain is going.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Not impressed with them, but would I be surprised if they slap up Dortmund? No. But Dortmund have, I think we'd agree on this, though. They've sort of felt like they're gaining some momentum.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that if they get to the round of 16 and have a fortunate draw,
they might even beat someone. You never know.
Yeah.
Arsenal is qualified at this point, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, they have.
So PSV.
They've not only qualified. I think didn't they guarantee the first slot?
Yes.
They don't even have to Hell, they have to show up.
Yes, so
I
the
wouldn't.
next game they can just play a rotational team.
Yeah.
Probably Thomas Partey can play. I don't know.
Is he still injured though? I thought that he seems like his fitness.
He's so injury prone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Madrid are guaranteed.
Yeah.
Napoli. I think they have to beat Union Berlin, which I think that they will.
Napoli will be. No, Napoli is going.
Yeah.
Damn, Madrid has 15 points.
Yeah, I think
they have the most, right?
Who else? There's another undefeated.
Bayern.
Man City.
Man
is
City.
undefeated as well.
Yeah.
Man City's undefeated. Bayern has a draw.
You know who we're not talking about? Real Sociedad.
Yeah. We might actually have to watch one of the games now.
Yeah. Because they've been cruising under the radar and just going about the business.
Yeah. Well,
11 points.
In a group that you could easily see like that's like a junior group of death.
Yeah.
Because usually
they're all kind of the same level.
They're all even.
Yeah.
Like you could reshuffle Group D in any order. And aside from Inter Milan being lower than second, like I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Benfica was fighting for second.
Yeah.
I mean they're playing horribly right now, but they have good history in Europe.
Yeah.
Same thing with Porto. Like when they make it out of the group stage to the round of 16, you're not surprised.
Yeah.
So it is kind of surprising to see them at this stage. Like a Salzburg, a Sociedad, like those are teams that you can see.
Wow.
Kind of sneaking up.
Atletico Madrid, Lazio.
Yeah.
Are they the next game that go? Who are they playing? It means of Atletico Madrid is playing with Celtic at home.
Let me double check here. I believe so. Schedule, not stats. Come on.
Yeah.
Yep. No. They just played Celtic. They play Lazio to wrap up.
Oh yeah, they play Lazio, and
that might be a good match to watch. We might watch that one.
Oh, actually, that's a good one. Oh, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of defending going on.
Yeah, it's one of those where like it seems important, but like I don't want to.
There's a lot of defending.
I don't want to watch it. I might watch it though.
I think that's all the groups, right? We hit it all.
Yeah, Man City dominated.
Group H, we forgot about Barcelona. Barcelona is going to qualify. And they are qualified, actually.
And I'm sorry that I put Leverkusen above Bayern, above Barcelona in my European tops. I'm sorry, everybody. Someone was upset with me. I'm kidding. I don't care. It was obvious to me that that's what the order there should be. But yeah, Barcelona, I mean, they're going to go relatively far. They're not in a very flashy group. So even when they're playing, well, 4 wins and 1 loss, they're not really going to have a lot of traction and buzz until they get out of the group stage. Would you agree?
Yeah. Well, but we it's Barcelona at the end of the day. So
yeah.
Well, this was a really good show. Looking forward to see the next match day 6.
Yep.
And Champions League. This one was the only disappointment on my side. It was Onana, but.
Man,
yeah, that really put a hole in my heart.
Bad performances. Well, really fast. Let's do a preview of the weekend.
Okay.
Some matches that we might cover. We're not going to cover all of these guys because we do have professional and personal lives. We've got Arsenal and Wolves, Newcastle and Manchester United. We will be talking about that one. Napoli and Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Brighton.
Catch us on the weekend then. Catch us on the weekend.
This is the weekend. This is the weekend preview. On Sunday, we have Chelsea versus Brighton.
Yeah.
Man City versus Tottenham, which we'll talk about for sure.
Yeah.
Leverkusen versus Dortmund. We might be talking about that one. And then Barcelona and Atletico Madrid.
Ooh, so that's a good one.
We've got a decent little lineup this weekend, and we'll discuss and figure out what we're actually going to try to watch full matches of, and then what we're going to discuss on the show.
Yeah. Well, guys, go ahead, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. Go ahead and subscribe to all our platforms: Spotify,
we have so many.
TikToks, Instagram, Twitter. So I can't even remember, guys.
YouTube.
We just have a lot of them. Just go YouTube. Yeah, that's the other one. Just go and subscribe, and all the links will be down on our YouTube videos and pages and whatnot.
Tell me how silly my European rankings are, but also if you're going to tell me how silly they are, you need to start making sure you do one. That's part of what I said too. I was like, also, my other guy forgot. I'm sure you'd hate something on his as well. Anyway,
well, it is what it is. Catch us on match day 6. Bye.